guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Scout Prepper channel. So today, a fairly quick overview of emergency backup generators. I've had a lot of guys ask me, what do you use and what do you have and what have you? Well, there are some really expensive solutions that are whole house backups, 10, 15, 20,000 watt solutions, but they normally cost a bunch of money, you know, $5,000 to $15,000 or more, maybe depending on what you're doing. So this is kind of the common man generator system, and this is all I use. I'm not a construction guy, as you guys know. I don't use one on a daily basis. I know some guys do. If you have those generators, then maybe you have a different idea of what you need. But all I really need for emergency power is something small, like this one, which is a 2,000 watt generator, which actually is only 1,500 running watts. Remember that the highest number is the surge, or what it could go up to for a quick second, but not what it would run at. So a 1,500 watt generator basically, and then this 4,000 which runs at 3,250, so a 3,250 watt generator. That's all I need. I have this one in gas. My thought is it's tiny, gas is commonly available. It's not tri-fuel, it's not dual fuel, but it's lightweight, it's easy to move, and say I had a power outage for a long period of time, maybe a week, this would be something that I could run the refrigerator off of. One 110 plug on the front. It's got some other capabilities. You can do some 12 volt charging on it, some USB if you have some adapters, which I have. But basically this is going to be kind of running the fridge if I needed to do something like that. And that'll keep my food cold, my food from spoiling, or whatever I have. Now, of course, I have freeze-dried stuff and MREs and other things, but I'm talking about a normal, there was a tornado, a storm, some utility company cut something major, whatever. If something happened for up to a week, and that happens, and it's just the fridge, and I'm probably okay, because in Texas, if it's not summertime, we don't normally have super cold weather. So we're not needing to heat the house and what have you. I do have a fireplace and things like that, but our weather is super hot, but never super duper cold, except maybe in February. So moving up to this big boy is the 3250. It's a 4,000, again surge, but it's a 3250, and it's propane, LPG, as you see, liquid propane gas. So I wish that this was dual fuel. This was the first generator I bought for the emergency stuff, and at the time I thought, okay, propane, why would I buy propane? Well, it's cheap, $1 a gallon, so it's easy to build up some propane, although you have to buy the tanks. But that's a one-time cost. The propane can be refilled in those tanks, so it's cheap at $1 a gallon, and propane stores indefinitely, meaning that it never goes bad. Now, I guess maybe in 100 years, maybe something's happened to it, I don't know, but in my lifetime, it won't go bad. I doubt that it'll ever go bad till eternity. I don't know. And I don't have to figure that out since I'm a normal mortal. But that's why I bought it. Cheap, and propane lasts forever. On the flip side, gas doesn't last forever. Every 6 months to a year, I need to be rotating that out, even with the fuel treatment, just to be safe. And of course, the gas is easier to get though. The propane, you kind of have to stockpile. I've done 5 tanks of various sizes around my house. Now, some barbecue grill, 20 pounders or what have you, some 40s, and then 100, so you can buy these different tanks and do different things. This thing is running at just over a half a pound of propane an hour, so that's pretty good. It's really about 0.7, so 3/4 basically. This one is a half a gallon per hour. So if I have 10 gallons of gas, and I have a lot more than that, if I have 10 gallons of gas, which is common in most garages, like you have a can for your lawnmower, a can for your four-wheeler, or something that your kids are using. So 5 to 10 gallons. If I have 10 gallons, I get 20 hours of runtime out of this. Not bad. So that's pretty easy to do. If I have the propane, again, it's running at 0.7, but I have a lot of that. Now, I have more plugs on this, more outlets, so I could use more things with this. Maybe in this situation, I'm running just a window AC unit was my thought on this. Just a window AC unit. If you overload these, they won't work well. So on this guy, I could run that. I could run some type of appliance like a microwave for a couple minutes, just to use to heat something up quickly if I don't have access to my barbecue grill, if I don't have access to one of my propane stoves that are right over there or something like that. So I'm not necessarily running this one all the time, but it could run some of my bigger appliances like a window unit for a little while by itself, a small window unit, or like I said, a microwave for a little while, something like that. Most microwaves are about 1,000 watts or what have you. So also, I said already, I wish this was dual or tri-fuel. They do make them for natural gas and gasoline as well. That would have been a good deal on this one. They didn't have that at the time that I bought this. Now they do have some dual fuel ones. I've had this for a few years, and I'm probably going to get one. They also make a 7,000 and a 10,000 in the Sportsman series, which are, I found these at Home Depot, by the way, but they have all kinds of different brands. You can research your features. These are pretty inexpensive, but again, I'm not using them every day. I test them out about every 3 or 4 months just to make sure they're working. They work fine. They're pull start. They're simple, and they're going to serve my purpose in the situation where I might need some power in a power outage. You know, just last year, I guess, during the winter in town. I live in the country, but in town, my brother, his wife, and then my mom and dad both have houses in town. Their power went out for 3 days, right there in the city center, and I live in the county seat. So it didn't here, we have underground utilities, but it did there because of some ice and some down lines and what have you. It took them 3 days to get that back. That's kind of common in the Dallas area where 500,000 people will be without power for a day and a half because some kind of outage that happens there. Not quite as common in other areas, but even a metropolis like Dallas is that happens. So generators are a good deal. Now some of you guys are going to get bent out of shape and go, oh well, during the apocalypse, if the zombies are out, they'll hear this kind of stuff, you know, or the looters will hear your generator and now you're a target. And first of all, you're probably taking this a little too far, in my opinion. I plan for things that I can normally see, like a natural disaster or whatever. I know there could be a government shutdown. There could be some kind of attack and big apocalypse scenario, but really, is a generator your biggest concern during that? Probably not. So this is just normal power outage, tornado, hurricane, earthquake, wildfire, you know, just your normal natural disasters that are happening. If you have another scenario in mind where you have to be in a bunker and you have to be quiet, it's the apocalypse and all that, then do your thing. This is just normal stuff. Now I will say that I put a couple of accessories with this, and you're wondering why the wrappers are still on these generator type extension cords. The reason is I don't use the extension cords ever in my normal garage. I'll have my regular extension cords. I have 2 or 3 of them. If I need to do something, I'll never use the cord that goes to these generators. I always leave it on top, and that is because if I need the generator, the cord is with it. So go to a Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, buy separate cords. These were 15 or 20 bucks, and put them on the generator. That way you always have it. Also, I took it off so you could see the labels on these, but I have the packets that came with them. In this case, the propane hose, which I have an extra one already attached to a propane tank. But the propane hose, the battery clips, the instruction manual, the quick start guide, I have that on both of these, and it stays on top. Now, I know how to use them. You literally turn on the fuel on this one, turn it on the regulator on this one, like an ATV or whatever, and then you pull the thing and go, turn it off, let it run dry, things like that. But my wife and kids may not know how to use them. My neighbor who's trying to help out if I'm hurt may not know how to use them. My mom and dad may not know how to use them if they're over at the house. So, although I know how, others may not, and they come with the quick start guide and they come with some extra stuff, so I keep it with it just so that it's all together. And I literally just put it on top and put the cord over there. I also have a quart of oil with each one. It stays right in front of the generator. I normally don't have these in my garage for display like this, but it goes right in front of the generator. It's just cheap stuff, 10W30. That's what these run on, non-synthetic oil. I have an extra quart of oil that way it'll be there. It's nothing I would use for any of our cars, nothing I would use for anything else. It's just for the generator, so it sits in front of the generator. It's kind of the theme there. So remember, you don't have to get a huge generator, and the bigger the generator you get, the more power you get, but the more fuel you use. So it could be a bad situation where you've got this huge monster generator, you only need to power a thing or two, like a refrigerator, and you're just burning gas or burning gasoline to do so. So a smaller generator might be the better bet on that. Now, if you need to power a bunch of stuff, or you're trying to do, half your house or something like that, maybe you need a bigger generator, but most people don't. Just throwing that out there. I would imagine most common man does not. Now, you're wondering probably about lighting. Would this power some type of lighting? Of course, but I don't need to. If you've seen the other video, go back and look at the home solar project for the little Pelican case that has the LED lighting and all that stuff. I use stuff like that in an event of a power outage. Plus I have the fireplace going, again, for heat in the winter. So I don't necessarily need to worry about power lights off of this, although you could. I'm more worried about, again, in the summer it's 100 plus in Texas, so a window unit for a little while, something like that might need some power for a while, maybe some tools that I'm having to use. I'm using something like this for maybe the fridge by itself, the refrigerator by itself, something like that. You tailor this to your needs. Hopefully this is a good little overview of what I'm doing, so to give you some ideas. Guys, as always, I appreciate the views and subscriptions. Keep them coming. Scout Prepper, as you'll remember, is part of a 3-channel network with Scout Tactical, Scout Prepper, and Scout Hunter. Check out all 3 channels with different stuff on them. Subscribe and like all 3. Check us out on the web at scouttactical.com. And a sneak peek, I do have a new website coming that looks a lot better. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, thanks for watching.